welcome back to day 2 of the Borneo Jazz Festival 2021 virtual journey, organized by Sarawak Tourism Board. I'm your host, Donna, and on the keyboard over there, my partner in time, Marvin Jong.
Hey, hey.
So, you've just been listening to Malaysia's own Dasha Logan playing at the Borneo Jazz Festival in 2018. Marvin, did you meet Dasha when she came here for the SSPCA WAG Festival?
I did.
Yeah,
Yes,
you did,
I did.
right? You and I have done a lot of musical
Yes,
events
we
over
have
the
indeed.
years.
Yep.
Did you know that she's also a very big Amy Winehouse fan?
Ooh.
Yes, you know, because I had the pleasure to meet her, and let me tell you, I knew when she was treble when she walked into
ouch.
the room. Okay, we've got lots more of those jokes where they came from in our show tonight. And now we are live at jazzborneo.com, Shopee Live, TVS Facebook, Sarawak Tourism Board YouTube, and also on our Borneo Jazz official Facebook. We've still got more goodie bags to give away over the next 2 days, and at the end of the show tonight, we will reveal our second question for the grand prize draw. So don't forget to tune in on all 3 nights if you want to win free festival passes to Borneo Jazz Festival 2022, hotel stays, and lots of merchandise to wear while you are there. It's worth more than 1,500 ringgit and could be yours with just a few strokes of the keyboard. So get ready, jazz fans. You know, yesterday we had more than 38,000 viewers.
Wow.
Yeah, from over 33 countries to watch Clinton Jerome Chua and the Oha Soul
Amazing.
Band. That was a lot.
It was.
So later on, we're going to catch up with Pete Kallang. But coming up next, we have a classical violinist turned jazz artist. At just 14 years old, she won 3 gold awards at the World Championship of Performing Arts and has since gone on to play at music festivals across Malaysia. She even played for the Chinese President Xi Jinping on his official visit to Malaysia.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
What an honor.
She is none other than Nisa Addina playing her song, Bornean Rainforest.
So I started playing the piano when I was 6. And then when I was 7, I picked up the violin. And ever since then, it's been like a whole musical journey for me. And started gigging when I was 13 or 12 in 2009. And I started playing like Piramli music at events. And yeah, it was really nice. So when I was in high school, I only knew classical music on the violin and also playing pop, playing Piramli on the violin, and I wanted to explore a different world. Like what else can I do on the violin? So I met Shafi'i Obe. He's a amazing jazz pianist, and he taught me a lot about the fundamentals of jazz and like a brief history on it, and like I didn't know that this world existed. So and then he introduced Berkeley to me, and ever since then I kind of like had set my goal to going to Berkeley to study jazz on violin. And yeah, I'm really grateful for him that he introduced me to like even jazz violinists like Jean-Luc Ponty or Stefan Grappelli. That just like yeah, my one of my biggest inspirations. So before playing in Borneo Jazz, I did attend a few times. I think my first one was 2014 or 2016, but it was quite amazing seeing like different acts, especially from like local Malaysians. Like I never really saw them perform before, and my favorite performance that I remember was Andy Peterson. He was from the band, the API band, if I'm not mistaken. That was so mesmerizing. That the intro with the flute, if I'm not mistaken, that I still remember it. In Miri, there were quite a diverse audience there. I really liked the crowd. Everyone was really supportive, and there were people from everywhere, from different countries and different places. I wanna expand my music and make more music for sure, but also right now it's just taking it slow because of the whole situation. Thank you so much to Borneo Jazz Festival and Sarawak Tourism Board for hosting this again, and I hope this keeps continuing on every year because it's really, I think it's a really important event for Borneo, for Sarawak.
Sarawak, Borneo, more to discover.
We hope you're enjoying the music so far. We've got plenty more coming up. So settle down for the evening with some food from Grab Food. We've got a 3 ringgit discount voucher for you with the code BJAZZ, Borneo JAZZ. So order now. You can also get fabulous Borneo Jazz merchandise and exclusive Sarawak handicrafts with Shopee. But if you want to be in with a chance to win, here's how. Like the official Jazz Facebook page. Marvin, you ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Done.
Post a throwback photo or video of yourself at a previous Borneo Jazz Festival, or post a photo or video of you watching this show right now.
Here we go.
Yes, and include the hashtag Borneo Jazz 2021 Virtual, and tag our official Borneo Jazz Facebook page.
Done. Okay.
Okay, don't forget to make sure your post is public.
Oh, Okay.
So it's your chance to win either a goodie bag or even the grand prize worth over 1,500 ringgit. So keep on checking our chat box to see if your name has come up. Marvin, did you win anything last night?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
Still trying.
Anyway, we still have loads to give away, so you might get a call after the show if you continue to post. Right now, we have a very special guest coming up. He's a jazz pianist, singer, composer, and musical educator. Known as Singapore's King of Swing, he's been playing professionally since the 1970s. He won the Cultural Medallion in 2002. He is the Executive Director of the Jazz Association of Singapore. He is Jeremy Monteiro. Yeah, because I know you played here at the Borneo Jazz in Miri a couple of years ago. So why don't you let us know what was your connection to Borneo and how you felt during the whole jazz festival, and just basically, what was your connection to Borneo?
Going to Borneo, any part of Borneo is like a homecoming for me, because I spent many of my formative years as a child in Borneo. Firstly, 2 years in Brunei, 2 years in Sabah, and then 6 months actually in Kuching. So 4.5 years of when I was like from 7 years old onwards.
Oh, so it did leave an impression in you, because at that time you'd remember, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and more importantly, actually, my most influential piano teacher, Mr. Tan Zitong, comes from Kota Kinabalu. And just at the time when I was losing interest in playing music, my mother found this piano teacher, who, by the way, I'm still in touch with on a regular basis. Is in his 80s now.
That's wonderful.
For me, if not for Mr. Tan and 2 or 3 other very important teachers, I wouldn't be a musician today.
Well, that's really good. Of course, we have to remember those who influenced us right from the very beginning. So maybe you can recall for us tonight some of your involvement that you had during the Borneo Jazz in Miri, and then maybe how it compared to some of the other places you had played at.
Well, I think that the music is loved by people all over the world, and there was a very sophisticated appreciation for our music when we played, in Miri. And what I liked about it, one of the things I remember, and I've been asking people, when I was there, I went to plant a tree somewhere, which is part of the whole green initiative that Borneo Jazz was also involved in, So if someone knows where my tree is and wants to take a photo and send it to me, I would love to see how it's doing,
Okay, well, we'll give that mission. We have some musicians that will be playing during this virtual concert, and they're based in Miri. So their mission will be go and find the Jeremy Monteiro tree.
I think what I like about Borneo in general is just how warm people are wherever you go. And there's a kind of sophisticated innocence that's missing from all over that's missing in the world, There's, when you meet people sometimes around the world, it could be that they're very nice, but you always feel there's some kind of hidden agenda. And what I felt, both as a child and then every time I visited Borneo as an adult, and particularly during my time in Miri, is this ability to be sophisticated and worldly and yet have a kind of innocence that I think is missing in the world in general. And also, I enjoyed going to play at the Kuching Waterfront Festival.
Kuching Waterfront Jazz, yes.
Yeah, and that was also a wonderful experience. I mean, I've never had, a bad experience at all. I mean, and of course, the production was top notch, and everything that we needed on stage was there, and the sound was great. Whether it was our own sound engineer or some of the other bands that didn't have their own sound engineer, but everyone sounded great. The audiences were so appreciative, and that's all we live for, actually, right? I mean, yeah, sure, we do this as a living and we get paid to do our jobs, but the musicians, that's a joke, musicians, we We get paid to travel. We play for free.
Yeah, that's right. Especially when you see somebody who's enjoying themselves so much on stage, and then when you get the audience reaction to your music, and when you see that everybody's really enjoying it and getting into the groove, I think that's when, as a musician, your relationship with your audience and that response, it really sort of like brings up the adrenaline and drives you to do even better music.
Yeah, and the audience is very important. When I play, I try to communicate in a way with my music and also with my spoken word. I try to create this sort of energy vortex, and I think living in nature for a lot of in Borneo, right? You understand this ethereal energy that there is in nature, and I think humans have the same thing as well. And one of the beautiful things that I experienced during my shows, anywhere in the world, and also definitely when I played in Miri or in Kuching, is that when the audience is enjoying themselves, they're listening to the music, you create this sort of energy vortex between what's on stage and what's in the audience. And after a while, if you're successful, you can't try to make it happen; it just happens. And if you're successful for it to happen, the audience becomes part of the music. And this is the one of the wonderful joys of being on stage, when you feel this energy.
What would be some of the other homegrown events? What would be one of the highlights? What would be one of the highlights of your playing career, say, outside of Singapore?
I tell you, Kuala Lumpur was one of the great early concerts of mine that I performed in the mid 80s, because I had never experienced this kind of outpouring of love on and off the stage. The audience was rapturous in their applause, and also how much they were so hospitable to us. And I love Thailand as well, because I remember when I went with the Charlie Hayden, who was rated by 1990, he was rated the best bass player in the world for 8 years in a row by Downbeat magazine. So I went with Charlie Hayden, Ernie Watts, and the famous drummer Al Foster, who played with Miles Davis. And during the press conference, right, how usually the press are not interested to talk to the local or the regional, but 70% of the questions were directed at me. And I had to keep pushing people to ask these big stars next to me. But it's that kind of when you get this kind of reception, it's amazing, because you feel like, wow, how it is sometimes. We feel like we have to live up to what the great artists in the West have done, and to receive this kind of respect and
acknowledgement.
Is amazing, and I think it was very beautiful for me.
Tim Stalker, baritone. Charles Bestia. Sean Less. Leon Joe. Carl Gregory.
Well, that was the Jazz Association of Singapore playing Blues for the Saxophone Club, composed by Jeremy Monteiro himself. Now, don't forget to keep posting for our goodie bags, but we also want to give 2 prizes away right now. All you have to do is post the answer to this question in our chat box. Listen carefully. Name one of our official merchandise items for Borneo Jazz 2021 Virtual Journey. You can see it on Shopee. Yeah, so name one of our official merchandise items for Borneo Jazz 2021 Virtual Journey. Be quick, we'll announce the 2 winners of this giveaway immediately after our next flashback. We're heading back to 2007, one of our earlier years, to the George Washing Machine Quartet playing My Blue Heaven.
Call, and evening is nigh. We hurry to my blue heaven. Turn to the right. There's a little white light. I will lead you to my blue heaven. You're gonna see a smiling face, a fireplace, a cozy room. There's a little nest that nestles where the roses bloom. Molly and me, and babe makes 3. We're happy in my blue heaven. A woman will sweet talk and give you the glad eye. But when the sweet talking's done, a woman's a two-face, a worrisome thing who'll leave you to sing the blues
every time
in the night. Now the rains are falling here, the trains are calling hooey. My mama done told me, hear that lonesome whistle blow across the trestle, hooey. My mama done told me, a-hooey, a clickety-clacks a-echoing back to the blues in the night.
Well, welcome back. And congratulations to Chia Boon Yang and April Rose Toldoya, the winners of our 2 quick giveaways. But don't worry, we've got more where that came from, and you still stand a chance to win one of our goodie bags. Well, now's your chance, Marvin. Okay, so how to win?
Let's try it again.
Try it again. Like the official Borneo Jazz Facebook page.
All right.
Post a throwback photo or video of yourself at a previous Borneo Jazz Festival, or post a photo of yourself watching the video right now, watching the show right now. Then include the hashtag Borneo Jazz 2021 Virtual. Tag our official Borneo Jazz Facebook page and make sure your post is set to public.
Done.
Yep, so keep checking your chat box to see if
I
your
will.
name has come up. Now don't forget to listen in for our grand prize question at the end of the show. Now before that, he comes from Baram. He is a known face in Kuching. He's now based in Kuala Lumpur pursuing his jazz journey, and he is singing Anywhere Away From Here, a song by English singer, songwriter, Rag and Bone Man, and American singer, songwriter Pink. He is Pete Kallang.
Wild and running, fearlessness is burning bright. We do nothing, 'cause out of sight is out of mind. Before we ever learn the fear of being bold, before we ever were afraid of the unknown. When the light goes out, I don't think I told you, I don't think I told you that I feel out of place. Pull me underground. Don't you think I notice? Sometimes I close my eyes and dream of somewhere else. Anywhere away from here, anywhere away from here, anywhere away from here. We sold our souls and we lost control, down and home. Glass of discontented from growing old. Well, the depths of trying to belong, I overthink it when I am alone. When the light goes out, I don't think I told you, I don't think I told you that I feel out of place. Pull me underground. Don't you know that I notice? Sometimes I feel out of place and dream of somewhere else. Anywhere away from here, anywhere away from here, anywhere away from here. Oh, when I close my eyes, oh, when I close my eyes, I wanna disappear. And when the light goes out, I don't think I told you. I don't think I told you that I'm out of place. Only on the ground, and we're away from here. Sometimes I close my eyes and dream of somewhere else. And we're away from here. 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 Anywhere from here. And we're away from here. And we're away from
Who would you say would be your jazz inspirations?
Well, my first taste of jazz would be listening to Ella Fitzgerald's version of A House Is Not a Home. That was my first ever experience, and it was just wonderful, and it blew my mind, and I was hooked. Yeah.
And how long have the both of you been playing together?
We've been playing together since 2008, 19, 18?
I really forgot.
3 years-ish.
3 years-ish, yeah.
Coming to what is the new normal, how would you have to say that, say the past year and everybody having to stay at home, and a lot of musicians not finding able to find their enough work. How would you say the pandemic has affected musicians in Malaysia?
We try to find other creative ways to still get our music and perform out there, because speaking on behalf of myself, it's hard to not put music out there or try to perform, because that's already part of us. Music is already in us. So, and people want music despite all of this craziness that's happening around us. So yeah, it's been tough, but it's been quite an interesting and creative time, because we find ways, even as musicians, we can't perform together, and we miss performing with each other. So we find creative ways to perform together. How about you?
Actually, before MCO, I'm not really on the net or on social media. So it's because of MCO that I need to have an outlet, like Pete just said. Then I turn to social media and putting my stuff on the net so that I can have audiences. Otherwise, no one is there to listen to my music. I think this applies to many musicians as well. They just started to put their music on, like, online. Yeah, and that's still continuing now, I think.
Having now more experience online and sort of interacting with your audience out there in social media, how do you think jazz is received within Malaysia itself? Are there a lot of enthusiasts, or do you find your audience is small or medium sized?
In my opinion, I think the jazz community is quite a small community. The people who are jazz enthusiasts, who support jazz in Malaysia, it's quite a small community. But I feel that it is evolving. Jazz itself, it's evolving to many forms, and it's not just like a pure jazz, like something like a swing or that kind of jazz, but it's evolving to different kinds of jazz. So it has its appeal to different people. But in Malaysia, I feel personally for me, it's still quite a niche market for me.
Pete, what do you think is the next step for jazz, particularly in Sarawak or on Borneo? How would you see that?
I think the next step would be to continue to use this platform or this festival as one of the many steps that we should take to continue to educate people about jazz. That jazz is not just one thing. There is more than what it is. It is always evolving and always growing. That is what it should be because that is what music is always changing. Time is with the times, and to appeal to everyone. And yeah, that is what is important. I think that's the next step, to continue to do this and educate people about it.
Well, I woke up a hot mess. Had one on the side, maybe two when I'm honest. See, I live like I'm modest, but this culture done got me spent up off my wallet. See, from paycheck to paycheck, thinking one of these days I'ma pull up, I made it. Visually, I can be anyone else. Physically, I'm the best version of self. Believe in this air that I breathe. Believe in this air that I speak. Believe in this air that I breathe. This is what loyalty brings. I can bring loyalty, see. Cause he always wanted the one with the fake moves. Have me thinking how to make do. Y'all, man, I'm about to make moves. This is what we do when we make moves. Yeah, get nervous. Mary, I want y'all to make some noise one more time for us. Everybody say yeah, yeah, say yeah. Ever wonder if we just breathe and make nobody believe? So many days breathe. In this air that I breathe.
Hey! If you feel like dancing, please don't be shy.
Breathe. Yeah.
I see you.
So breathe. Yeah.
Well, that was Pete Kallang, joined by his keyboardist Sylvia Wong, followed by our flashback to accomplished trombonist, composer, and band leader Q Sound playing the festival in 2018. He has initiated several educational projects where he has had the opportunity to mentor outstanding young jazz musicians in Malaysia. But now we're going back to the roots of jazz with the blues. Our next guest is one of two Daves that make up the Doodaddies, a four-piece Chicago-style blues band coming all the way to us from Perth, Western Australia. Welcome, Dave Brewer of Dave and the Doodaddies.
Come on, say little girl, everything is free. Put on your red wig, baby, 'cause we're gonna go on up to Sugar Hill. Put on your red wig, baby, say we're gonna go on up to Sugar Hill. Come on, 'cause if you don't, your sister will. Yeah. Good to keep the boss off my back. Sometimes it feels like I'm stuck in a trap. There's no sense worrying about the reasons why, 'cause you're gonna have to work until the day you die. You know, it's crazy. And I don't care what you've heard. Times are getting tougher, there's no hiding in a motherless world. I can't go on much longer living this way. I get screwed up. You carry this heavy load. You try not to worry, but these thoughts, they just won't go. You try to think of something that will take away the pain, but each time you find out that the pain remains the same. It's a hard place to live when your baby's not around. I feel I've got to move away from this lonely part of town. This lonely part of town. Lonely part of town. This lonely part of town. It seems like a long time. I got out now. I'm on bail. She tried to ruin me. Ruin me. Ruin me, baby. Spend all my money too.
Played, I think the first one was Miri, and I'll probably need to be reminded of what year that was, because it seems like quite a while ago now. But that was very exciting for us, because it was a very international festival, and very exciting. And in fact, that particular band, the Doodaddies, we hadn't actually travelled out of Australia before. I have myself with other bands, but that particular band, that was our first trip overseas, so it was very exciting for us. Yeah.
So how did you get into the blues?
My father was a big jazz lover, and so we heard a lot of jazz around the house. And I've got 4 older brothers who I remember in the 60s, the folk music was very popular. So my older brother was listening to Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee and B.B. King, and so it kind of developed from really my family music tastes, and then because the beauty of the blues is that you can get away with playing 1, maybe 2, and sometimes 3 chords. So the beauty of that is that it's very accessible to people. I mean, I love jazz, and you do need a little bit more of a chord vocabulary to play jazz, and I can play some jazz, but I think that's, as I said, the beauty of the blues is that it's something that people can just pick up and learn fairly quickly. And as you would know too, the feeling that you can project within a blues is similar to a jazz thing, and it's basically about, I suppose, touching people's emotions. Really, that's probably the paramount of paramount importance in some ways. I've played in Australia for many years, and the popularity of blues and jazz, it waxes and wanes in various years, and but I think what impressed us mostly with playing in Borneo was that the music was so accepted, and people really responded very enthusiastically. It's not to say that people don't hear, but I think they're maybe a little bit more reserved here in some ways. And I think the other thing that I've found with the festivals I've been to in Borneo is that the range of music is quite wide. The so-called genre of jazz is very broad, and probably broader at the festivals I've been to in Borneo. I think it's sort of, which I think is a good thing. It's even some pop elements and some folk elements, and so I think that's another thing that I've experienced. And I think that actually with the style of blues that the doodaddies play, because we do a lot of shuffles, and I think it's a fairly upbeat and kind of a happier kind of approach to the blues. As you would know, that the blues can cover so many different styles, and some are quite heavy and quite sort of as we were saying before, more deep and but I think that the doodaddies, we do actually have a fairly big emphasis on entertainment as well. So we try to have a good balance, and the shuffles kind of help with the entertainment as well. Kuching would have to be one of my favorite places. It's just a lovely place. So after Kuching, we went to Mulu, then back to Kuching, and then we went home. So I think my only advice is for musicians to keep their horizons broad, and listen to everything, and try to bring in influences from all types of music. I think and that's probably the best advice I can give, really. I think it's great to have a big melting pot of music, which is called jazz, which is great. Yeah.
Please, let's do better than we did before. Help me welcome the one and only John Hammond.
Well, it's a pleasure to be part of this wonderful festival, and I'm so knocked out to be here in Miri. Lord, I love you all the time. Just a fine, pretty baby. All aboard! Hey, that's a train my baby's on. I've been out west, and I'm headed east. I'm gonna bring my baby back home with me. She done grabbed that mean old train and gone. Man, she bought that ticket and left this town. I'm gonna find my baby before the sun goes down. She done grabbed that mean old train and gone. Oh man. Get up in the morning, I'll find me a rocket Oldsmobile. Get up in the morning, I'm gonna buy me a rocket Oldsmobile. tractor soil. Drive up to the gas station. I'm gonna tell the man to check his oil. Drive up to the gas station. I'm gonna tell the man to check his oil. My mind is rambling. Oh Lord, I'm on the tractor soil. Lord, that's cold. Mad icicles hanging on the tree. Begging her to come back. Little girl on bended knee.
Well, that was the legendary John Hammond Jr. doing his barrel house style music at the festival way back in 2011. Hey, Marvin. I once went to a party where there was a famous martial artist playing jazz.
Is that Chuck Norris?
No.
No.
His name was Blues Lee.
Ooh, ouch.
Well, before we call it a night for day 2, we want to make sure you keep on posting for prizes. And one of you could still join us next year with our grand prize. Remember, our grand prize is worth more than 1,500 ringgit. And this includes free festival passes for 2022 for 2 people, a 2-night stay at the Merritt's Hotel Miri, Sarawak Tourism Board merchandise, Borneo Jazz Festival 2021 official merchandise. And all you have to do is answer 3 easy questions, and we're telling you 1 each night. So there's a second. So here is the second grand prize giveaway question. Now, name 1 of the flashback performers featured in the Borneo Jazz Festival virtual journey. You got that? Name 1 of the flashback performers featured in the Borneo Jazz Festival virtual journey. Make sure you listen and answer to all 3 days. You can watch the flashbacks for your chance to win. You'll find out on the last night. Now, thank you for making day 2 another successful evening. Shout out especially to all of you watching from home or wherever you are, to Shopee, Grab, TVS, and all our partners. Tomorrow, we've got performances by the talented Miri duo Tadan, and we'll talk on the future of jazz in the region with Jeremy Monteiro. And we have plenty more highlights from the festival over the years. But before we go, here's another favorite, given with a different twist. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You feel like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Pardon the way that I stare. There's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm a lonely night. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say, oh, pretty baby, don't bring me down, I pray. Oh, pretty baby, now that I found you, stay and let me love you, baby. Let me love you. Trust in me when I say, oh, pretty baby, don't bring me down, I pray. Oh, pretty baby, now that I found you, stay and let me love you, baby. Let me love you. I love you, baby, and bring me down, I pray. Oh, pretty baby, now that I found you, stay and let me love you, baby, all the time. I love you, baby, don't bring me down, I pray. Oh, pretty baby, now that I found you, stay and let me love you, baby, let me love you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Donna, and let's give a big shout out to Marvin over there. And this is the Borneo Jazz Festival 2021 Virtual Journey, organized by the Sarawak Tourism Board. So I'll see you tomorrow, same place, same time.
You sure look good to me, mama girl. You sure look good to me, David. Somebody say yeah! Say yeah! Say yeah!
Good night, Mary. Good night, y'all.
Sarawak, Borneo, more to discover.